Welcome back to another welcome back to our first episode of season 3. Woo-hoo! Sorry for the delay. I apologize for the mess up. It was completely my fault because we had a fall festival at Kalia and Wesley's school, and Jennifer's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to do this." And then we ran out of time to record anything. So for our 11 listeners, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry.
So Jennifer's got your back where I'm just a fuck up. Well, welcome back to another episode and season of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast for me, Jason.
And me, Jennifer.
Have a few drinks.
And talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting and Twitter, or X, and Facebook at Poor Parent Pod. Miss Jennifer, it's another season.
Yay.
Can you believe we're in our third season?
I cannot. It's crazy.
I know. This was a pandemic passion project. We started 2019? No, when did we start this? It was 20, I think.
It had to be 20 because that's when we all got the COVIDs.
Yeah. Or was it 21? I think it was 21, actually, is when we started. Because we got COVID at the end of 20.
Yeah, October of 2020.
Yeah. So I think we started this like May or like early summer of 21.
Gotcha.
But I cannot believe it.
Nope.
Only a year break in season 1. Still mad at myself for that, but
that's okay.
It's okay. I had my hips replaced. I'm allowed, I think.
And we all have had. It's life.
Yeah.
It's hard to, with full-time jobs and kids, to even take an hour out of our day to sit.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think this is the most I sit during the weekend.
October is always just a busy month.
Yeah.
It is like parties, trick-or-treating. We went out of town, I think, didn't we? Yeah, we went to DC and Virginia, or Pennsylvania for Zane's birthday. And then we have Kalia's birthday and Zane's birthday. Yep. And so it's just, October is rough for us. Yeah. So luckily, to pull back the curtain on to our listeners, we bank a lot of these episodes ahead of time, and we're trying to bank at least 4 this weekend, so that'll put us out through the probably mid-December, and then we're going to do another 4 next weekend. That'll put us to probably February, because we've already pre-recorded about 5 interviews.
Nice.
If I remember correctly. We've got people from our support group that we go to for the APAC. If anybody's interested in adopting, we highly don't recommend it, but but if you are somehow convinced to do this horrible thing, we've got information and resources, and there's a good support group.
Oh, definitely.
And we really love the people we're in support group with.
Yep.
So there's a couple of them. There's 2 more I still want to get for the podcast, or at least 1 more. But she had to cancel because she got COVID, I think. Mm-hmm. So we'll probably get her. That's kind of why I wanted to bank our solo episodes so we could. We would
have time for the guests.
Yeah, because the holiday season is just awful for everybody. So not just us.
Yeah.
So we got Thanksgiving coming up. Yeah. So the first weekend of November, and we're like it's just so fucking busy.
Yeah.
We got Galaxy of Lights coming up. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas party.
And you're going out of town again.
Where? Oh yeah, for a day after Thanksgiving. Yeah.
How is it that I remember that and you don't? That's funny.
I was like, where are we going, Jennifer?
I'm not going. You are. I'm staying my happy ass home and doing homework.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, at your house.
Yeah. Woo.
It's easier to do homework at your house than it is at my house.
Yeah.
Just because it gives Wesley more room to not be underneath my ass.
Yeah. You have I think your house is probably about 1,400 square feet.
Yes.
But it's very compact.
It is very compact. And everything is in one area of the house.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to have quiet and...
Yeah. And you can't, your neighborhood's not the safest, so you can't just kick them out and be like, go play. Otherwise, they'd be hanging out with the 12-year-old hookers or the 15-year-old drug dealers.
And them little girls across the street from me, they cuss worse than I do. And I cuss. And I hear them, and I'm like, there's no fucking way Wesley's going to go out there with them. No. So, I just... Yeah. They cuss out their grandma.
Well, that's there's always stray animals walking around your neighborhood. Yeah. I got bit by one.
Yeah.
that.
Unfortunately.
Well, I didn't he looked like a sweet dog, and then just ran up and bit my pants and ripped it.
I think it was because you were petting the other dog, and it was like a territory, or like, that's my girlfriend or whatever. They don't live there no more, but still, it's still scary.
But what were we talking about? Well, you talking about your homework. I've been, you're taking accounting and business calculus this semester, and it's been, I know you're hating business calculus, but I've been trying to, remembering all this stuff. I'm like, how do we do this? Trying to teach you, and it's been an adventure. Yeah,
because just looking at something, and then they're like, watch this video and you'll learn how to do it. Yeah, math does not work that way with me. My math is just, and then accounting has math, and I'm just like, I don't want to do no more numbers.
No more numbers.
No more numbers. But once I get these two, hopefully if I pass accounting, I've got a really good grade in the calculus. So far so good on that one. But as long as I can pass accounting, I only have one more class after this.
And then she'll be an associate.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! Look at me go.
And what is it? It's in business. Yeah. Well,
it's the only way that work would pay for half. So.
Yeah. My little girl's growing up.
I'm so growing up. I'm falling apart growing up.
Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of that, how's your week been?
I hurt my foot. We did the 5K for Liz Hurley a couple weeks ago, and
for out of town listeners, the Liz Hurley
is for breast cancer awareness, and raise money for like the fancy machines that detect breast cancer early. And Liz Hurley was a newscaster, or is that what they're called? The people that do the news?
Yeah. I think newscaster is appropriate term.
And she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she won the battle.
Oh, she
and
won.
And she's been cancer-free for, I think they've done this for 25 years now.
That's awesome.
And so she comes out every race and talks and thanks everybody, and they raise a lot of money, and there was like over 6,000 people that were at the race. And you have a cancer survivor walk that they can kind of do a little lap, and then if they want to do the full 5K they can, and if they can't, then they just kind of sit out and just root on everybody that comes. And you go through downtown Huntsville, and there's people outside their homes playing music for you or rooting you on, telling you how far you got to go. And it's just a fun, maybe not fun, but
sounds fun.
Well, 5K is not fun, but but it's a good experience.
Yeah.
And I took Wesley when I first got him, because I've been doing it for 10 years, because I had a friend who had breast cancer, and we were doing it for her, and she would do it with us, and she won the battle, but then she got it again and then lost the battle. Mm-hmm. So I kind of do it for her, and my friend's Aunt Monica. I do it for her too, because she
was a survivor.
Yeah, she had breast cancer, and she won, and she's striving, and
that's Ceci's
sister. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I took Wesley when I first got him. Then COVID happened, and they were doing it virtually, and that I'm not going to go do that virtually. So this was the first year we got to go back, and he got to run it.
I thought you did it last year.
I don't think so.
So it was open last year.
I don't think so. I think it was virtual last year.
Oh, could have sworn y'all, because you've done it with him before. I could have sworn y'all did it last year.
That was the first year.
Yeah, whatever. Our memories, it's like the Alzheimer's battling each other out.
Yeah. That's always fun.
Yeah. And you got to go with our friends, Luis and Griffin, and they're training for their marathon and half marathons respectively. So Wesley was going to run it with them, and I was frankly kind of expecting them to smoke him, because Griffin runs fast.
Yeah.
He's clocking in at I think under what will be a 3-hour marathon, which is impressive. Yeah. As all get out. But he kept up with them, as what I've heard.
Yeah, he. So I was thinking, I'm the fastest kid in the world, because that's what he thinks, that he's just gonna run and then not have stamina to continue running. What Luis and Griffin said is that they were running, and then he told them that he was gonna wait on me, and he stopped and stood on the sidewalk. Well, I guess he got bored, and then he just ran and caught up with them and ran the whole thing with them.
Oh, okay.
So he did it, I think, I actually got the times because he wanted to know. I want to say he did it in 20-something minutes.
Well, that's not bad.
Which, I mean,
yeah,
I think is really good.
It's less than 10-minute mile if I remember correctly.
Let's see. Ooh, I cannot read this. So no, that's mine. Well, I'll do mine. I did mine in 48 minutes, and that was just walking. And out of females, 40 to 44, I was 94th out of 295.
Hey, middle of the pack.
Yeah, I was very proud of myself. And then overall, I was 1,566.
Out of?
4,022, it says.
Hey, a top
But I guess
quarter.
no one really... they said it was 6,000 people, but maybe they don't count like the babies and things like that. But then Wesley, he did it... Oh, no, he did it in 31 minutes and 30 seconds. In males 11 to 14, he was 17th out of 38.
Wow.
And he got 554 out of 4,022.
Not bad.
So, yeah, he did good.
Yeah.
I was surprised because really, I know he can run fast.
But being able to sprint quickly is different from being able to maintain a pace.
Right. And I think running it with Luis and Griffin probably kept him down a little bit, but kept him being able to do a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm still impressed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, from that delightful experience, you developed what we think is tendonitis in your foot.
Possibly. We don't
or a
really
broken
know.
foot.
Yeah. I have a pain on the top of my foot, and I went to the doctor yesterday. Then got x-rays. He wanted to make sure I didn't have like a stress fracture in some part of it. So I should know next week.
You're just falling apart, baby girl.
I am.
And your headaches are still going on.
Yep.
Vanderbilt doctor thinks it's anxiety or stress or something like that.
He thinks it's not anxiety, but he thinks it's
muscular.
He thinks it's my shoulders. Yeah. And so he's given me a muscle relaxer to take at night because he wants me to get into deep REM sleep. And so far that hasn't really worked. So
do you even feel anything?
No.
Yeah. I'm always amazed. Like, I have for someone my size, and not making it like a fat joke or anything, but it's like I'm over 250 pounds, 6'4", and I have a pretty sensitive nervous system. Like, if I have 3 cups of coffee, I'm going to be shitting my brains out for about an hour because caffeine is just like, oh, it's time to poop your brains out.
Right.
I took one of Zane's Adderall, and I was like, I was so fucking laser focused, didn't have to eat. It was wonderful. I feel like, take anything, you're like, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
God
I'm
bless.
on Adderall, and I don't feel it.
I don't envy you. I'm okay with having a somewhat sensitive, my level of sensitivity. I'm like, okay, at least I know what I can expect from medication. You never seem to be able to take anything and know what you're going to get.
Right. And it takes a long time to figure it out. Yeah.
Ugh.
Like, I maxed out on Vyvanse because it didn't do nothing for me. And now I'm on Adderall, and we're middle of the.
And you don't feel anything? Mm-mm. My God, Adderall makes me, especially when I come down, it makes me so funny feeling.
Yeah, I don't have a come up or come down. I feel exactly the same.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's nice that I can drink, but then it's like I'm so old now. I don't even want to be. I'm not a cheap date or cheap drunk.
Unlike my gay ass, who's like 2 shots, and I'm like, woo!
Yeah, that's pretty. Boobies.
Well, speaking of cocktails, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Horsefeather. It's a cocktail that you found online.
Yeah.
It's bourbon and lemon, did you say?
Well, we didn't have lemon, so I put lime.
Okay.
So I didn't think it would make that big of a deal. I'm not crazy about it.
No, it's not the best concoction in the world, but
it's drinkable.
You tried it, and we can say that we've had a Horsefeather.
Yeah. It's ginger beer, bourbon, bitters, and lime juice.
And then we threw in some simple syrup.
I put in too much for mine because it's a little too sweet. But
did you?
I'll muster through.
Yeah. Chug it.
Chug it.
How's your week been?
It's been pretty good. A little stressed, not stressed, but just like anxious at work, just trying to get through a project. And although, I've told you this, but to our 11 listeners, we have this guy I work with, and he was given a project back in January, and he just turned it in. And so I'm like, I have another developer coworker, and he's like working weekends to get his shit done. And I'm just like, there's got to be a happy medium.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. I am kind of stressed. I'm not stressed, but I'm like focused a lot on this project. But then I'm like, if they can let him string us along for 10 months,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not worried about it. And he had a second job on top of it, which he would sometimes like, you could hear him in the background. Like he would forget to turn off his mic, and he would like go into another meeting. And it's like, oh, that's classy.
Yeah, that's not good.
But yeah, everything's been pretty good. Kalia got into trouble. She got into trouble right before her birthday party. It was like the 17th, I think, of April. Or no, it was... Yeah, her mom came up on the 17th for her birthday. And then the 18th, it's like... Anytime mom comes up just out of the blue, Kalia's behavior usually nosedives the next day.
Yeah.
And so she got a in-school suspension. And it was so hot. And I was like, girl, you are so lucky I've already prepaid for this party. Because I would have canceled this shit in a heartbeat. But... It's whatever. We had a really good time at her birthday party. We went to one of those bounce houses.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And they're surprisingly not expensive. I was surprised because it was only like $275.
Well, that's not bad. And then they left it here all night.
Oh my God. Well, so the party was Saturday. I booked it from 2 to 6 because it's a 4-hour window. They dropped it off Friday at 11 a.m. I didn't pick it up till Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So and the kids, oh my God, it was just squealing girls and it got so annoying after a while. But we just sat, luckily we kind of had it far away from the porch where we could watch, and they just had a fucking blast.
They did, and they played with baby Ayana, and she was all up in there bouncing around.
Were you there when I had to take her Ayana out?
Yeah. Yeah, but all the big girls were really nice to her, and they, let her play with them, and would pick her up and take her to the different, areas. It was really cute. I really liked that they were being really nice, and not, you're a baby, you can't come play with me or whatever.
I think they would probably have more boys than girls.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, you never know.
Especially if they're mean girls.
Yeah.
But one of the girls that came, Dallas, she's actually here right now in Clea's room. She apparently, I dropped her off, and her mom texted me. She's like, she passed out immediately upon arriving home. I was like, I bet.
Yeah.
They just played hard
they
all
ran
day.
Amok. Yeah. Yeah, they did. But I think she had a great time. Yeah. So that's all that matters.
And, I didn't have to spend a ton on parties. And I will say I'm amazed at people who have, like, those, who will spend, like, thousands of dollars on their kid's birthday. I mean, if you have the money, whatever, but it's just like... They don't give a shit. Especially, at 10, it's fun, but at the same time, it's like Chuck E. Cheese, which is $30 versus, I don't even know what you would spend $1,000 for a birthday on, but
maybe like that rock climbing place.
Maybe, or renting out the whole Chuck E. Cheese or something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know. Kids, I think people. Frankly, I just think people do too much for their kids. They spoil their kids. Frankly.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm cheap.
Frugal.
We'll say frugal, yeah.
Frugal, that's what we'll say.
Frugal.
Well, that and, we're just trying to teach them that you kind of have to work for stuff in life.
Yeah.
That it just doesn't appear. Like, money just doesn't come into your bank account. You got to work for it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm about to say, Wesley's about to turn 13. Are you going to make him go get a job?
I was thinking 14, because that's when you can get one at Publix.
You can start him at farm labor.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to have to drive him out to a farm.
Go pick cotton, child.
Yeah. Do what your ancestors did.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No. Because that's just more work on me.
Yeah. Agreed.
Having to drive him out wherever.
Oh, yeah. Agreed.
But 14, he can work at Publix.
Yeah. When Kalia hits 14, I'm probably gonna you need to go get, especially during the summer. It's like either you're taking summer classes or you are working. One of the two. You ain't sitting around all summer long.
That's right.
So what are we talking about?
Halloween. Because it just passed by.
I know. We're recording this on November 4th, and we survived Halloween. Jennifer had it easy.
Shit, yeah. Wesley was horrible, so he didn't get to go trick-or-treating. So we stayed home, and I sat outside. It was fucking cold here in Huntsville. It was
40s.
Yeah.
It was so cold.
So I just sat on the porch, had my bucket, waiting for kids, and no kids came. Hour and a half. Just sat there. Trying to, so that way I could be like, hey, I'm here if you want some candy. Nobody came. I didn't even see anybody, like, driving around, like, with kids in the car, that kind of thing, because it was so cold. So I don't know. I guess they do like we do when we go trick-or-treating and we leave the neighborhood.
Maybe. Although Miss Tisha, or Dallas was saying that...
200 kids?
I don't think she was.
Still,
Yeah.
I mean, she felt like it was 200. That's.
I mean,
if we just say 50 kids, that was a lot of kids.
Yeah. I mean, it may have been 200, but I just am amazed because, her neighborhood is not that far from yours.
No, but there's more, I think.
Houses. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big neighborhood, the one that she lives in.
It's a big neighborhood.
I live in a little cul-de-sac, so.
Yours isn't a small neighborhood either.
But my area is. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a whole bunch of for sale signs right now, so if people are driving by, they're not going to drive in the cul-de-sac to be like, oh, look, there's a for sale sign. There's 2 or 3 houses for sale in my neighborhood, in my cul-de-sac right now.
I have to buy one to rent.
There you go.
In this neighborhood, we don't get a ton. Like, I think Justin, since we moved here, we've never stayed here to hand out stuff. But I think Justin's like, we get a couple every now and then. But the old house back in over by Bridge Street here in Huntsville, which is the shopping center, the house Zane I had before, the one I'm currently in, it was a big neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it was a pretty popular trick-or-treating spot too.
Yeah.
Not that we were a fancy neighborhood, but it was pretty safe and near Bridge Street. And so I remember several years we would... I would set up, I have an outdoor sofa. I would bring it out to the driveway and the fire pit, and we would just have a fire.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was like, just sit out here and have fire and let the kids come to us.
That's really nice.
But this year, last year too, we took the kids I took Kalia and my 2 younger granddaughters, Iona and Jalen, to... There's a neighborhood here called I don't know if the neighborhood. There's an area called Providence.
Yeah.
There's a neighborhood really right behind it, and I think the neighborhood's Providence too.
I think so because it's Providence Elementary School is the name of the school that's right there by the houses. So I imagine
is that what that's called?
Mm-hmm, I think so. I might be wrong, but I think it's what it's called.
Please fact check us, y'all. But it's a somewhat expensive neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the houses are all pretty close together, maybe 20 feet. They're not far apart, but they're expensive, and they're good sized houses, but they're just kind of crammed in together.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's perfect because you don't have to walk as far.
Yeah.
And everybody, Clea got 4 full-size candy bars.
Yeah. It's a good, rich neighborhood when you get full-size candy bars. I just looked it up, and it's Providence Elementary.
Okay. I guess it is called Providence.
I was right.
No need for fact checking.
That's right. I mean, anything else you want to fact check, go ahead.
But yeah, I like that neighborhood. When you were growing up, what was your Halloween experience like? What was it like in Germany? Do you remember?
Well, we would go on base because...
They don't celebrate in Germany.
They don't celebrate in Germany. They do dress up like New Year's. That's when people dress up. They have parades and things like that. I don't remember what it's called. I want to say. I could be wrong.
Is that
with
the Krampus shit?
No, it's not anything to do with Krampus. It's just
it's not the
celebration.
12 black men that the Dutch do or whatever.
No. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You haven't seen that?
No.
There's there's this parade or some shit in the Netherlands, I think it is. Mm-hmm. And it's they have white people in blackface.
Oh, no.
And it's Santa and his 12 black helpers. It's yeah, it's kind of awful, but it's it doesn't have the same kind of awful racial connotations as it does here, just because our history is so much more worse. Are you looking it up now?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Well, not the 12 people. I was just gonna see what the
What the parades are called.
Yeah.
So would y'all just go trick or treating around the officers' houses and shit like that?
Yeah, on base. Well, because it's not just the officers, because you can live on base, just a family.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And it is, that's, so if I remember correctly, the base would have a Halloween party, like at the mess hall or, someplace, and all the kids would get together there and bob for apples and, dress up. And
I don't think I've ever bobbed for apples.
I bobbed for apples, and then would have a costume contest or whatever, and then we would go trick-or-treating at the people's houses on base. So that was what we did a lot in Germany, because the Germans didn't actually give up.
What did y'all do when y'all came back States? Did your mom take you trick-or-treating? Or did you go to yourself?
My mom didn't. It was, I would run amok with my friends. And
you were living with your dad at the time too.
Yeah. So sometimes my friend's mom would walk with us. Sometimes not. Most of the time we would just go in our neighborhood, because we lived in a really kind of big neighborhood, and we would run back to my friend's house and get a pillowcase. So that way we would dump our candy and then have an empty bag, so that way people would think that we were just starting or whatever, and they would give us more candy. So we made out like bandits whenever we went. But I'm looking it up, and apparently Halloween is celebrated now in Germany.
Oh. Yeah, I've heard it
wasn't back in the day, but
I've heard it's a big export, even in because its origins, if I remember, are Irish with Sam Hain, I think, and then it's kind of took off here, and then we exported it back.
And then there's Fasching, which is an elaborate pre-Lenten celebration.
Lent.
And that's where the parades and costumes and candies is.
Look up the 12 black men for Santa Claus and his 12 black men or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, so the neighborhood I grew up in, Texas, was a pretty big one. It was big. It spanned probably 5 miles.
Oh, wow.
It was big. And I remember I would just go trick-or-treating for hours, and I would fill up my bucket, come home, dump it, and I remember one Halloween I did 4 times, and I never hit the same house again. It was always different houses. So I was killing it for Halloween.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
When did you stop trick-or-treating? You remember?
I want to say I was probably 13 when I stopped. We ended up giving out candy and dressing up to scare the hell out of the little kids. So we'd climb a tree and then jump out at them, and so we were kind of bad kids. Not bad, but we were.
You weren't egging them or anything like that?
No. I never did toilet paper or egging or anything like that. I just like to startle kids. I still do.
Still do?
Still do. Any chance I get and I scare Kalia, I'm like, yes.
I trick-or-treated until I was 16, but I would make costumes for myself. I remember the last costume I made myself a mailbox for my head and just walked around as a mailbox.
Oh, that's funny.
And I would knock on the door and I would open the latch and say, trick-or-treat.
That's
and
funny.
people were like, you're a little old to be trick-or-treating, aren't you? And I was like, hey, I'm dressed up.
Well, and the thing is, to me, before I had Wesley, I would, do the candy out because I didn't have anybody to take trick-or-treating or whatever. And I'd have just school kids just kind of getting out of school, and they would come up with their book bag and open up their book bag and say trick-or-treat. And, they were, because I have a high school half a mile from me. Mm-hmm. And I hear people always say, you're too old to go trick-or-treating. And I'm like, these kids are getting candy and they're not doing anything bad. I'm going to give them fucking candy.
Yeah.
Because they're being good.
Yeah. They ain't egging your house. They ain't toilet paper.
And they're not going out and being bad. Not even hooligan stuff for, Halloween. They're just
trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating. Let them.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 5 or if you're 15, whatever. You'll get candy.
I like the few times kids came out without a costume on, because it's like the older kids would be later at night. I remember that.
Yeah.
Especially the old house. It'd be like 9:00 and you get some 15-year-olds or something like that. But like if they're out trick-or-treating, I'm like, whatever, here's some candy. I'm happy to. Do you remember any of your favorite costumes growing up?
I was a punk rocker a lot. I liked to dye my hair, I think. It was and like spike it up and make it look cool. And like rip up jeans and just be cool. I thought it was the coolest thing. I don't know why. I just wanted to be a punk rocker.
You just showed me a picture when you dressed up as Sue Sylvester.
Oh,
but that was more recent.
That was as an adult, yeah.
Yeah.
that was for work, and we had a costume contest, and I won. The judge didn't know who Sue Sylvester was. For anybody who doesn't, it's the character from Glee. What's the actress's name? I like her.
Jane Lynch.
Yeah, Jane Lynch. And so he looked her up, and then he came back, and he was like, "You won because you look just like her." And I was like, "Okay." And I had a blonde wig on, and then we went out to the club that night, and I wore the outfit at the club, and we had a good old time.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
As an adult, I remember one time I went. I don't remember. It wasn't a specific character, but it's like I got a muumuu, I got big fake tits, and I had like a gray wig, and then I wore that to work one year.
Okay.
And a lot of the people were like, "Oh, are you Medea?"
Oh.
I mean, this was like 2004 time frame. So I was like, "Fuck is Medea?" Because I'm like, I don't think even the first Medea movie had come out yet by that time. So I was like, I don't know who Medea is, and but then I saw the movie, or I saw one of the movies, and I'm like, that's not Medea. But anything from your child? Oh, you were a punk rocker.
Yeah.
And any culturally inappropriate ones nowadays? You were a hobo, if I remember correctly.
I was a hobo, but no, I don't think I did anything.
You weren't you didn't go in blackface.
No, never. No, I knew better as a child and as an adult not to do something like that. No, I don't think I did anything like crazy or. I'm not good. I'm not creative, so I'm not like 1 year at work I dressed up as Superman. I had a Superman shirt on, and I wore my glasses, and I would just unzip my jacket and then have the Superman and take off the glasses, and that was my Halloween costume. So I'm not very creative. Work has made me wear things. So we were witches one year. I had to wear a tutu.
I remember that one.
We were Care Bears one year, and I had I was Lucky Bear. So I had like the little ear, like a headband with ears, and then I had a sweatshirt that had the Lucky Bear and had a little tail on the back of it. It was cute, but I've never really gone elaborate.
Yeah.
Like I remember we had one Halloween, you and I and Zane went I think we went to like a brewery, and you had done like fish scales on your face or like the alien thing, and I was like, that's so cool. Because you're you're creative, like you like to do stuff like that. I just don't have that creative bone in my body.
Yeah, I don't know. I like trying things. If I weren't so goddamn tired all the time, I would put more effort into it. But it's like no one else. Like I think Kalia would enjoy it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of factors that kind of help me along with my laziness. But it's like I'm tired. Mm-hmm. I don't have a good sewing area. Because it's like, especially these like detail costumes, you kind of leave your shit all around.
Right.
You start a project, it's such a pain in the ass to have to put it away, get it back out, put it away. So I don't have like a good area to work in.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
You don't have help.
Yeah, and also I don't know. I think you would enjoy it. I know you would dress up with me.
Oh yeah, definitely. But you'd have to make it all.
Yeah, I'd have to make it all. But like Zane doesn't give a shit about that sort of stuff. He's not going to do anything that would embarrass himself.
Yeah.
And I still I still want to make a Wicked Witch of the West costume for myself because it's not that difficult of a costume. And I was like, I could make Jennifer a kind of a janky Glinda the Good Witch costume. Just get like a a pink long sleeve shirt.
You just want to make me pink.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Pink. But I don't know. Again, I don't have a good sewing spot. I'm tired all the goddamn time, and like I feel like I've got so much going on. I'm like, ugh. And it's like, I don't know. I need a crafting buddy. Is what I've got you as a podcasting buddy.
Yep.
I need a crafting buddy.
There you go.
Someone who'll do shit with me. That's kind of
EJ.
Yeah, he's kind of crafty.
Yeah.
But he's not at the moment he doesn't have a car, so I can't get him up here.
Yeah.
Oh, EJ, he was on our second season, was he? Yeah, he was in the second season. Yeah. Our childless friends.
Yeah. And he gets reminded every Sunday that he eats with us that
he don't want
no kids.
Nope. Trying to think. I think the costumes I'm most proud of as a kid, I did I was a head on a table. Like I made myself a little table costume that fit around my neck, and I had a plate and like some bowls set around me, and I had some like blood coming out of my nose, and when I would go out to the doors I would kneel down so it looked like it was table height.
Okay.
And I would so that was a fun one.
Yeah, that's very creative.
Yeah. My one of my more recent ones was the onesie. I had a unicorn onesie.
Yep.
I love that thing.
Because it's hot, though.
Yeah.
Because it's like polyester or...
Yeah, I don't know, it's terry cloth or something, but it does not breathe.
Yeah.
It is just a heat factory. But on those, like, it would have been great this Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. But, and I still, like, people, when we went to hang out with some friends, like, oh, I remember your unicorn costume. I need to get some more. Like get some, because Ayana. So for our listeners, Ayana is my middle granddaughter. Yeah. She my daughter brought her up for Halloween, so we all go trick or treating, and she came into my office and she was dressed up as Scooby Doo, and it was so precious.
She was so cute,
so precious.
And she came to give me a hug, and I was like, "You ready to go trick or treating?" Yeah. I was like, "What do you say when you go to the door?" And I was like, "You gotta say trick or treat," and then she was like, "Twinkle tweet," and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." And then me and you at the same time started like clapping for her, and we're like, "Yay!" And we were just like in unison. It was so cute.
It was so precious. She was really cute on the when we were trick or treating. She'd go up to the trick or treat.
So cute.
So cute.
Love it.
And then we had the baby with us, and we were just carrying her around because Kiki forgot the stroller, but. Like, they had to stop after about 30 minutes because the baby's hands and cheeks were just like ice.
Yeah.
I was like, you better get this baby home before she gets frostbite.
Yeah, it was cold.
So.
And she's heavy, so carrying her around.
Luckily, me, Zane, and Jalen and Ayana's father were there, and we all kind of split it, so it wasn't too bad. And she actually let me hold her without crying. She wasn't like begging for mama constantly. So
that's good. Maybe because she was just in a new environment. She was like, I know you, kind of, so I'm just going to cling on to you.
Although every time she wore, like, her dad had a mask on, and every time he wore it, she'd try to get away from him. It was so cute. He was like, "Mama, take the mask off." And she'd, like, reach out for me to hold her. It was so cute.
That's funny.
Sweet babies.
I was looking at the Book of Faces memories, because that's how I remember things, and on Halloween, it was showing me the pictures over the years of what all the kids have been. Because usually it was Wesley, Clea, and AJ that would go trick-or-treating together. So the first time, like, AJ was a knight, and Wesley was Spider-Man, and Clea was like a princessy kind of...
I think she was a unicorn.
A unicorn? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, princess, unicorn, there you go. But they look so little... compared to what they are now. And then the next year, Wesley was Ghostface.
That boy loves masks, but
he doesn't wear them.
The entire time we're trick-or-treating, you're constantly yelling at him to put his mask on when it goes up. Because he'll, like, take it off, because I guess it gets hot or something, and then he won't put it on to go trick-or-treat. Yeah. I'm like, dude...
It's the only time I want you to put it on.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't see, that's fine, but you go to the door, you say trick-or-treat, put your mask on. So, I
remember before he got in trouble, you were like, "You're not getting a fucking mask."
Yeah, no, I was like, you can paint your face, but you're not getting a mask. Anything that has to go on your head, you're not going to get, because that's just ridiculous that I gotta yell at you about this stuff. And I mean, I don't have to, but I mean, what's the point of me buying you a costume if you're not gonna wear the costume?
Seriously.
So this year I was like, you know what? You're being mean. I'm going to be mean, and I'm not going to buy you a costume, and I'm not taking you trick-or-treating. Just tired
Didn't
of it.
he ask you the day of? He's like, are we going trick-or-treating?
2 days before, he forgot, I guess, that I told him we weren't going to go trick-or-treating because he's not been the nicest kid.
Wesley?
Yeah. And then we went grocery shopping on Sunday, and Halloween was on Tuesday. And he's like, I said, do you want to give out candy since we're not going to go trick-or-treating this year? What?
What?
I'm like, yeah, I told you like 3 weeks ago you're not going to go trick-or-treating. But I thought I would know. But I want to know.
No.
No. And then he's like, I guess I'll just do it with Justin. And I'm like, it's a school night. It's a work night for Justin. So no, you will not. If we're giving out candy, it's at our house. I don't want to. Okay. And then Monday, I had to go get some medicine, and I got a couple bags, and was like, I'll just do it myself.
You let him have me?
He got some on Halloween night, but like, I don't know what to do with him. He's just a tween, and
Terrible tween at that.
oh my goodness, it's rough.
He's gonna start. We were talking about tweens. He's been kind of fighting you on showering, not necessarily taking a shower, but like fucking around so long in the morning. So I'm like, oh, he can be the stinky kid because he like takes too long in the mornings.
Yep, I told him, I was like, I'm not going to fight you anymore in the morning, so you're going to take your showers at night. And I said, if I have to go out to the water meter with it being 30 degrees outside to turn off water, I will fucking do it.
Tired of your bullshit.
Yes. And then I'll just wake you up right before we have to leave, and if you want to brush your teeth, you got a toothbrush at Jason's. So I ain't got to deal with your shit in the morning. Because it's really hard for me to have to fight with him and for me to get ready at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I already get up wicked early.
Yeah. And you're like, because you're not, because you're hourly and like the kind of sticklers on start times and whatnot, it's like, that's a pain. Yeah. Like, I've got flexibility with my start time just because I'm, salaried, but,
Well, I give myself time.
Yeah.
Like, I make sure, like, I want to leave the house at 6:20 to get here at 6:30. Mm-hmm. And I usually get to work about 6:40, 45. Yeah. It depends on how fast Wesley gets out of the car. So I give myself time that I won't be late. But I'm never late.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let him make me late. Like, that's just, I've prided myself on, maybe being late just a couple times, and that was because of unforeseen circumstances. It wasn't, just because I'm lazy or whatever.
Yep.
That's
the German in you.
I guess so. But I'm not going to let him make me late because,
yeah.
So that's what we're going to do now because I'm just done.
Stinky babies and
on
time mama.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is probably a good transition point.
Oh, is it? Have we talked enough?
Well, we're at 45 minutes.
Oh, look at us go.
Although after I edit, it'll probably be like down to 35. But So what are we snacking on today?
It's a Halloween episode, so we're eating Halloween candy from Clea.
Heck yeah.
Yep. And I got Reese's Pieces and Gummy bears and Reese's Cup.
Heck yeah.
But I will say bourbon and chocolate.
Yeah, not a good mix.
Well, peanut butter chocolate, not the best combination.
Yeah. Well, especially this drink. It's like, it's not very good. Yeah, I got a peppermint patty and Reese's Cup. We, Zane is real big about going the day after Halloween.
Any holiday.
Yeah, Halloween especially, or Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
and Christmas.
Yeah, we go out the day after and go get like several bags of half off chocolate.
Yep.
So I'm having peppermint patty and loving it, and I'm not going to drink that cocktail because it's going to take nasty with the.
Oh, with peppermint especially, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, story time. I forgot to put one down, but well, I'll tell the.
Was it mine?
It's mine. Yours is the next one.
Okay.
That's the stuff in his drawers. Remember?
Oh yeah.
It's actually going to be about your son though, because so we had Halloween here in Huntsville. Everywhere in the world on Tuesday. Just here in Huntsville though. But we had Halloween on Tuesday, and we normally, Clea has this bucket of where we put her candy. Like, she generally has some candy year round from different holidays, whatnot. But we don't want her to, we want her to ask us to get it because we don't want her like gorging on candy constantly.
Right.
But we're still like, get like 5 or 6 pieces. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's in the top shelf of our pantry cabinet, and she's too short for it, and she never goes for it. Well, on I think it was Wednesday, Zane got up, and he in the morning after you drop off Wesley, Zane will come in here and give him his pill and get Clea up. Well, Zane came out of her bedroom, and Wesley was walking into the bathroom and had left the cabinet open, I think, and Zane gave him his pill, and then while he was taking his pill, he went to the bathroom, and Wesley had taken Clea's Halloween candy bucket from the high shelf and hid it in Justin's bathroom, and
that boy.
And it was like, had he just asked?
Yeah.
I was like, we would have given him candy.
Yeah.
Because we already had a bucket full of this shit. So I'm like, if you just asked, you would have probably gotten handfuls.
Now you get no candy.
And now you get nothing, you little shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Dumb kids.
Yeah. And then 2 days later, he has his tablet because we came over for dinner, and you take his tablet, and he's like, no, give it back. And you're like, you don't like it when people take your things, do you? We don't either. That boy just doesn't learn. He just steals all the fucking time. I don't understand it. It's not like he is in need of anything.
It's the ADD.
It's just, ugh.
Matt used to do it all the time.
I don't do it. I got it.
It's different for boys, though.
Zane has it. He doesn't do it.
I've seen other ADD. My brother and Matt do it, though.
I just don't want a child that steals. Because if you didn't love me so much, we wouldn't be able to come over no more. Because he has stolen so much from this house. Yeah.
He's gotten to the point where he's so familiar. It's like, oh, they're just my parents. I don't have to worry about it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I was like, I love you, but there are limits.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't adopt you.
Yeah. And I tell him when we come over, I'm like, I like that you like this house, but this is not your fucking house. This is Jason's house. Well, why does Kalia get this? Because it's her fucking house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not yours.
I'm like, yeah, as much as we're glad y'all are close, y'all aren't siblings.
Nope.
It's like, the circumstances are completely different. Don't expect the same shit.
It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
But that's my son for you.
Yeah, fucking kids.
That's why we started this fucking podcast.
Well, thank you for all our 11 listeners.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom. Thanks for coming back for season 3. We hope this one turns out well. And again, I apologize for the delay.
Well, it's only 1 week, babe.
I know.
It's not a year, so we're doing better on our delays. How about that?
Well, and I put out that little thing saying apologizing, so people knew it was coming. But I still feel bad. It's like I want this podcast to be a success. So.
Yeah.
But thanks again for listening to A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids pout about not being able to spend the night at their friend's house.
Tough shit.
Go to bed.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.